there, I'm Alan Matthews from Classical Guitar Shed, and let's talk about the question, when should you start memorizing music? Right? When you first start learning the guitar, is there a particular level that you should be at before you start memorizing music? When should you start memorizing music? If you enjoy this, please subscribe to this channel and click the little bell for the notifications. So why would we memorize? We should probably answer that question first before we actually say when you should start. What does memorizing get you? Well, for one thing, memorizing music builds up our ability to visualize the music in our head. And by visualize, I also mean by hearing it, so oralize. It also means our tactile memory. We can really think about what goes into playing a piece. So if I said, put your first finger on the first fret of the first string, to do that, you're gonna have to make some pictures in your head, and you're gonna have to think about the strings, and you're gonna have to think about the frets and think about putting your finger there. And that is the skill of visualization. And as we get better at this, then we can visualize playing entire pieces. And we can think about each of those notes. We can think about the shapes and the patterns, the chords, the volume levels, all these kind of things, the expression. This can all happen mentally. And that's part of growing as a musician, is building that interior hologram, you might think of it as, this internal representation of the music and what needs to happen with the music. Also thinking, what does the music look like on the page? So all of these things are part of memory. And so memorizing music builds those things. Well, those are also the things that happen in real time as we're playing. If we're looking at a piece of music and we're learning it, then we're thinking about, where do I put my finger? And that can get more automatic in time as we get better at sight reading and things like that. But even from the very beginning, we can think that is part of it, is looking at a piece of paper and then figuring out what is going to happen for me to do that, what needs to happen. So with that said, when should you start memorizing music? I think as soon as you possibly will. So if you're just starting out, then mental practice is wonderful. If you're just learning a C chord, well, there's no reason that you can't memorize that C chord, which you are doing anyway, and that G chord or that D, whatever it happens to be. Then you can memorize that chord, and then you can think about that someplace else, right? You could be standing in the line at the grocery store, or you could be sitting on your couch watching a video, and you can just think, this is how to play a C chord. And that is part of memory. That is recalling something that you've learned. And the sooner that you do that, the faster you will learn, the better you'll learn. It also, if you practice memorizing music, it leads to better practice habits. It leads to more focus. It leads to more awareness of your focus, so that you can be more aware of when your mind is wandering. Because if you're playing from memory, it gets very clear that that's happening faster. So if you ask me, I'm a big fan of memorizing music. I'm a big fan of working with memory, also with the score. It doesn't mean that you never look at your music again when you memorize. Quite the opposite. You still want to use it at times in certain ways. But to practice memorizing and to go into new pieces with the idea that you will memorize it, it will up your game regardless of what level you currently play. Even if you're an advanced player that doesn't use sheet music or doesn't memorize music, if you start, it will be better. And it's best to start from the beginning of a piece rather than after you've already learned it and your muscle memory has already been trained. It's just a poor foundation to build it on. So instead, with your next piece that you learn, just decide, I'm going to memorize this, and then just work at it. And it will be hard and it will be confusing, and that's perfectly fine. That's just part of the game. So instead of getting sidetracked by that, just know that's part of the game, and that's part of practicing guitar, is memorizing music. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this. Bottom line, yes, memorize. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, start memorizing music. It's great for you, and it will help your playing immensely. All right, please subscribe to this channel. Also, I have an entire course on memorizing music. If you would like to check that out, there's a link below. And good luck in all of your practice, and have a lovely day, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.